Hey everyone, this is Alexander Concepcion with TacoStreetLocating.com. I help people move to Austin and find apartments to rent in Austin. I've helped over 500 people find places to live in Austin. I'm totally free to work with. So if you find this video on Mueller, then please reach out to me on my website. I'm free to work with. So in this video, I'm going to describe Mueller, the neighborhood in northeast Austin. That's about 15 minutes away from downtown, and explain why you would and wouldn't want to move here. And I'll talk about the apartments in this neighborhood so you can better decide if you want to move here and which building is going to be right for you. So just to talk about Mueller overall, it's this really nice, modern, kind of master planned community that's about 15 minutes away from downtown. It used to be the old airport. So once the airport moved to where it is now, then they took all that space that was there and made this kind of master planned community, which is kind of the root of its pros and cons. But overall, it's a really good neighborhood. Its proximity, it puts you fairly close to all the major things in Austin. It has a lot of walkability, especially if you see this cluster around here. It's just like a nice neighborhood. You have an HEB here. You have Animal Draft House and a big cluster of restaurants and coffee shops and bars all along here. My favorite part about Mueller is the Texas Farmers Market that comes every Sunday from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. I go there a lot. You have some really amazing farmers who bring extremely high quality food, and you have so many people in town bring their kids, bring their dogs. It's a really great kind of young family neighborhood. So now to get into the apartments of this area. Well, before I get there, probably it's good to talk about kind of the cons of this area. So I mentioned it's a master planned neighborhood, and that gives it kind of this overly engineered type feel where it doesn't feel totally authentic like the rest of East Austin does. It does have a bit of a manufactured feel to it in terms of all the buildings that are there. There's a lot of big box businesses here along 51st, like Home Depot, Marshall's. So that's just part of what you're getting by consequence of living in Mueller. What you gain in overall lifestyle, which is a lot, you do sacrifice in, I would say, authenticity and kind of an organic neighborhood. But that being said, now let's get into the apartments. The Mosaic, I basically don't come here anymore. They just have a lot of management issues reflected in the reviews. Anytime a building is below 3.5 stars, it's kind of a no for me. There's too many buildings to choose from, and if you can get a building that's just as good quality with better management, then do that. I know they tack on a lot of extra fees here that you can't opt out of, and you could just do better. Like right next door to the Mosaic, you have the Sink, which is basically the same building, just right next door, slightly better management. The buildings are kind of indistinguishable. I mean, they're all nice, they're modern. They're all gonna have gyms and pools. A lot of people come here because it's close to like UT, the university. So the only way these are going to have any chance at winning is if their prices are really, really low. Otherwise, you're probably going to go for any of these other buildings. So Amly at Mueller is the oldest Amly at the building. and quickly you're going to realize that most of Mueller are Amley buildings. Amley buildings are, I always describe them as like the bottom of high end, where all the standard basics are there. They're nice. The pools are good. The gyms are good. The management is usually good also. Amley is the kind of company that owns and manages their buildings, which I like, rather than having different owners and managers. I've always had good experiences working with Amley, so I do like sending my clients to Amley buildings. Um, Amley Mueller is going to be the oldest one of this cluster. I would say it's the best location of all the buildings here. It's right along Mueller Lake Park, which is a great place just to hang out, have a picnic, walk your dog, play frisbee. This is a great spot. It's right by the draft house. Uh, but if you want something a little bit more modern, then you're probably going to look at these other newer buildings. So the Amley Branch Park is, of this cluster, almost the newest. Every time I come back to Mueller, there's like a new apartment complex. So sometimes I have trouble keeping up. But the Amley Branch Park, it's fairly new. I think under 2 years old. It's really nice. Has great amenities. I think they have a rooftop deck, top like on the top floor. So far, the reviews are pretty good. If you're anything above 4 stars, I consider pretty good. Then there's the Amley Aldrich, which is, again, it's like Amley Mueller, just like 15-20% nicer. It's a little bit more removed from the core of everything. That's why Amley Branch Park is a better location. But when you're in this area, you're still close to everything. So from here to here, it's maybe like a 2 to 3 minute walk. So it's not much of a sacrifice. Then here's a new one. I was out of the country for like 2 months, and I come back, and then this brand new building is open. It's another Amley building, Amley North Park. I haven't been to it yet, but I suspect that it's going to be just like the other Amley buildings, just slightly newer. Then going across the street is the Solomon. The Solomon, another brand new building, and this is going to be the weakest location of like the immediate Mueller area because it's across 51st Street, which is a pretty busy street. But it is a really nice building. I like it a lot. It surprised me. The amenities are great. They have a nice rooftop pool with a good like greenery on top with like a nice view of East Austin. So I think this one is definitely going to be worth looking at if you're looking at Mueller, but you will sacrifice that kind of cozier neighborhood feel that you do get in the central part of Mueller. Then coming a little bit further down, you have another brand new building, the Rivette Tower. This is right near the old airport control tower, which I think where this name comes from. Super nice amenities. Has more of like a designer luxury interior feel inside. Has a really nice rooftop amenity deck. And I think it's going to be one of the stronger ones in Mueller. This part of Mueller is going to be flanked by mostly houses. So you're going to have to walk probably like 5-10 minutes to get to this core of Mueller, but it's not a big deal. It's nice. And you have access to this parkway. So this is going to be a nice area to go for a nice walk. And then further down, I'm not sure if I would technically call this Mueller, but is the Emma Browning. This one is in the process of opening, so I don't think the reviews are from residents because the building isn't open yet. So sometimes you have cases where there's a brand new building and you just have people throwing hate comments before a building is even open for various reasons. But it is a really nice building, and you have access to Mueller, and this area over here is like a nice residential area. So I think it's going to be, once the building opens up, it's going to be pretty compelling. So we'll see what pops up over there. And just to zoom out a little bit, there's another building I figured I'd toss in the mix, even though it's not Mueller, is the High Grove further north. So this one, I just figured I'd put it in there. You do lose the walkability because it's not inside of Mueller, but it's worth knowing about. This is going to be more of like a big box commercial area, but the building's really nice. The amenities are good. Kind of fits in with all the other modern buildings. And pricing here is pretty good. So I think it's going to be worth knowing about. So overall, if you want like a really nice, cozy residential neighborhood with walkability and a good place to like take your kids for a stroll, take your dog for a walk, and you want good access to East Austin, to downtown, to Central Austin, then Mueller is going to be a great option to consider. So if you found this video useful, please reach out to me on my website, tacostreetlocating.com, so I can help you find your next apartment in Austin. Thank you.